What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back with a post-match fan show. Ange Postecoglou's first game in charge ends in a 2-2 draw away at Brentford in our first Premier League game on the season. It was an eventful game, especially in the first half, full of incidences. We took the lead early on, got pegged back, was 2-1 down within half an hour, and we equalised on the stroke of half-time for Emerson Royale. Second half, we kind of had control of the game, lots of possession, limited Brentford a lot, but weren't able to really break them down and create too many good quality chances apart from Richarlison. So it's like an interesting game to unpack. I think a lot of positives to take away, but I think there's definitely a lot of work to do for Ange Postecoglou's Tottenham, and he's still got a lot of things to decide when it comes to the football team. I'm here with Barry to analyse the game and talk to fans as well. This is your chance to have your say if you want to come on the show. Become a gold member and you can come on the show and have your say on the game today. Barry, just in general, were you happy with today's performance?
Yeah, look, I think we need to be happy with it. We went to a well-drilled Brentford side who've had a better pre-season. It was good in the fact that we managed to sort of arrest the slide. When it went to 2-1, it could have quite easily gone to 3-1, 4-1. We could have easily lost that game. Look, defensively, I'm not going to hold any punches. I'm not going to defend Emerson Royale. Only a little bit. He was, we are playing this new system where he's tucking inside, but on the counter attack, we are very vulnerable, where we're all out of position and we don't know the system yet. That's on all the defenders. I thought Van der Ven coming straight in had a great game on his debut. Doji as well on that left-hand side. They were brilliant. We obviously. Look, positives from today. We got a point. We go next week. We just need to be better. Another week of Ange ball on the training pitch, and let's hope that we can't afford, let's just say, to give Man United those chances, because they will bury them. Yeah,
we're clearly not there yet. You can see defensively, we're still very open, and we were conceding chances. And Brentford in transition definitely were hurting us in that first half. What I liked is that we were able. I think, well, by the way, Chelsea have just gone 2-1 up here at Stamford Bridge against Liverpool. Unbelievable turnaround. 2 goals in a minute.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. One sec. So this is, look, any other goals, we will keep you updated. Ben Chilwell, it seems, has given Chelsea a 2-1 lead at Stamford Bridge in what is quite a good game there over at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea versus Liverpool. But look, I agree, Van der Ven was a really big plus point on his debut, got thrown in at the deep end and I think dealt with it quite well. Destiny Udogie carried on his pre-season form and he looks like a real player left back. Basuma was outstanding, my man of the match. I thought he was irresistible in central midfield, the way he was able to dance around. I think the way he was able to dance around some of the Brentford players and progress the ball was really impressive. But I think like a few negatives like Richarlison, Son, Sanchez came on and didn't do fantastic, I felt. So I do think there's a lot to iron out. I think that goal's being checked with VAR as we speak, a possible offside now against Ben Chilwell, so I have to wait and see on the outcome of that. I think he might be off, which would be...
Yeah,
he's offside, no
1-1.
But yeah, look, let's get into the fan show. Let's start talking to fans. I want to know people's opinions. Are they happy with the performance? Is it worrying, the signs you saw? Is it positive, the way we played football? Oh, I'd like to know what people think of.
Yeah, I want to know. The question I want to know from everyone today is: do we give more time to Richarlison in that number 9 position, or do we take the plunge and put Sonny up there?
Yeah, I think that's a decision he has to make. I think Ange Postecoglou in his post-match press conference will be talking. I was asked about Richarlison. He said, I thought he worked hard today, but we didn't use him enough. He had a couple of opportunities. I think we didn't look to use him enough today. So that was what he had to say about Richarlison on the debutants. He said Mickey, Destiny and Vicario making their debuts today. Obviously, they're going to need to get used to each other. We took a bit of a gamble throwing them all in. I thought of all of them handled themselves really well. Mickey has only had 3 sessions with us, I could have waited to put him in, but he's a good footballer, showing his trust in Mickey van de Ven. Talking about Romero, obviously he got taken off early on. He said he had a head knock, and it was pretty clear. The medical team were monitoring him, and he has progressed from there, and then he scored with his head. They were pretty sure we needed, for his own benefit, to get him off. And obviously that what we know about head injuries, for me, is not even an issue. We were always on the side of caution. Christian, the player, is not the one you listen to in those situations, because he doesn't know what is going on either. So I thought it was pretty clear what we had to do. Disappointed that we apparently filled out the wrong slip, and it was not a concussion sub. In this day and age, where what we know about head injuries, if we are going to worry about what form we fill out, I thought it was pretty clear what happened. Hopefully it'll be okay. So I'm guessing he's a bit annoyed that we didn't get an extra sub, because it should have been a concussion sub, and Spurs didn't deal with that. But look, let's get into the callers. We've got people in the back end. And let's go, first of all, to the one and the only Brian Daigle in the house. Brian, good to see you, my friend. How are you doing today?
Can you hear him?
Can you not hear him? I can hear
no,
him. So wait.
Sorry, Brian.
Listen, Nick, that trick only works once, mate. Then you need to come up with new material. How is everyone in the chat?
Look, Brian, we opened the season with a 2-2 draw against Brentford. What did you make of the performance, and is that a good result for you?
Well, but bear in mind, you've got to remember, Brentford's first 2 home games in the Premier League in their 2 seasons, they beat Arsenal 2-0 and beat Manchester United 4-0. So they're a mean place to go to on the first game. And the draw, I'll take it. The performance was good. A couple of things that concern me, but all in all, the performances were good in the way we played football. I mean, at one point, they showed in the second half we had 81% possession. I don't think we had 81% possession in 3 games last season, combined. It was so refreshing to see, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good to see Tottenham playing possession-based football, looking to dominate and pen the opposition in, and that was definitely the case for large parts of the game. We did though struggle to create good quality chances, didn't we? And is that something that you feel is going to come with time?
I do. I mean, I love some of the play between Basuma and Maddison. Basuma, like you said, he was magnificent today. Absolutely magnificent. I mean, when they showed his stats after Alan Smith gave him man of the match, first, he was brilliant. And the play that we signed from Brighton, the chances will come. Like you said, like Nick was saying, defensively, they've got to get to a new system. And we have to attack him wise as well. And you mentioned Son, who was poor. I think Kulu was non-existent. And that's a concern for me. It's a concern.
I would agree with you about in the first half. I thought Kulu was growing an influence in the second half and was much more involved. And I think Son was rightly taken off in that second half, to be honest. He didn't look comfortable on the wing whatsoever. And that has to be a bit of a concern, because in pre-season it was the same. He didn't really look comfortable out in that position. And he's asked to do something which I don't believe is his best asset. He's asked to dribble past players consistently and create chances from the wing. Well, I think his best asset is getting in goal-scoring positions and his finishing ability. So I think that is something maybe with time Ange will look at.
Well, you're right, Tim. But also the thing you mentioned as well with Son is he's captain. He's not easily droppable now, is he? He's kind of that he's the captain of the club. But look, we've now you've got Perisic, you've got Solomon, and you've got Porro who could do it. So there are options there, and good options at that. So hopefully Postecoglou won't be afraid to use them. But I have to say, everyone's raving about Basuma, and rightly so. But I tell you what, and I tweeted about it, and you mentioned him, Destiny Adoje, or Adogi, however you want to pronounce his name, what a player we have on our... He was superb today. Superb.
Yeah, you're right, Brian. And I think it was... You know, we were all sitting there and we were thinking, are we going to go with Ben Davis on the left, left back? Are we going to, we're not going to try Mickey van de Ven. And Ange was brave and put them both in. And, Mickey van de Ven as well, who's not been there for, he's been here 5 minutes. I thought they both had really good games and really encouraging.
Well, Mickey van de Ven, Nick, more than anyone, my love for Jan Vertonghen. My love for that man is strong. And I'll tell you what, I think I might be getting a Mickey van de Ven man crush in the coming season, because He was very, very unfortunate with the deflection for the second goal that they scored, and we were a little bit easier down the flanks at times. But yeah, I think he's looking like he'll be a solid player. And like you said, Ange was very, very. He went for it, didn't he? He didn't just sit back and relax or go, right, we'll take it easy. It's my first game. He was like, right, we're going to set out and do this from the start. And we did. I've got to say, before I forget, one of the best things I saw in the entire game happened even before kickoff. And I don't know if it was Ange or Sonny that did it. But when they run over to the away fans before the game kicked off and clapping them and then did the huddle there, whoever did that, genius, masterstroke. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. But yeah, there are a few other things. Like I said, Richie, you're talking about. He needs time. He does need time, but we haven't got time to give. We've got rid of Kane. We need someone. Whether you move Son up there, whether it's Gift Orban comes in, whether you go and spend more on a striker. He works tirelessly, and you can't take that away from Richarlison. There's just a couple of opportunities he's had, especially right at the end, where I think it was the ball was played through and he took it on and he should have shot first time and he and then it got blocked. But hopefully it will come. But I don't know how much longer we can say, right, we're going to keep going and keep going and keep going when you've lost Kane and 30 goals. We need a striker.
Yeah, you're right, Brian. And I think that the thing that Ange is, obviously we asked that question, Ange just said he didn't, obviously about Richie and, he was his work rate and everything else. So it doesn't look like we're going to suddenly see a massive change and we're going to see Sonny on that left wing, driving down that left wing, which is, yeah, I mean, look, I don't think he's, in terms of his best position, I'd much rather, I think we would have agreed that we'd much rather those chances fell to Sonny today rather than Richie. But it looks like it's we're going to keep trying this. We're not going to suddenly, suddenly just change it, Sonny up top. So we're going to have. It's going to be interesting to see what happens because obviously, yeah, like you said, he's the captain. He's not going to get dropped, but I think he would be, and we would be more effective with him down the middle.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you two a question on that. Then, do you think? And I was thinking it during the game. To get him more involved, like you could see what Maddison was trying to do, and also how refreshing was it to see a number 10 going to take a free kick and knowing it will get to its destination. Mm-hmm. That was the one good thing. Maddison's free kick was brilliant. You can see what Maddison was doing and trying to get him in the game. This is where I keep thinking that Porro, Solomon, and Perisic might be able to offer better service to Richarlison by going wide and getting the balls into him. Rather than this all coming in, I don't know what you guys think on that.
Yeah, I think who are we talking about? Son.
Yeah, no, I'm saying about with Richarlison going up front, and not being used because our wingers like to cut in and then try and shoot and do that. I think one of the other, like the three that we mentioned that could go there instead, might get better service to Richarlison.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I think the problem, a big problem with Son and Kulusevski out wide, is the fact that neither of them, they're not like Kulusevski has a good cross on, but he's always, because he's inverted, he's always going on the inside. Son is I don't think that's his speciality. I think he's more of a player who likes to score and get in the goal scoring positions. That's where I see his best attributes. So I think having someone like Perisic out wide, if we can get crosses from him, that would definitely be a better situation for Richarlison. I kind of agree with that. What did you make of the goalkeeper's performance? Come under, I guess, a bit of criticism. Some people say he played quite well. He was doing a lot of sweeper keeping and coming out of his box. Some people say he looked dodgy with the ball at his feet. What did you make of his performance?
You two both know how I feel with the goalkeeper bad at their feet. I have heart attacks. And I didn't think I was going to, from what I saw of Vicario in previous, I didn't think I was going to get the Lloris effect. Not saying that I will constantly. His distribution at some points in this game today scared the hell out of me. And some of his coming out and sweeper keeping was right on the money. But there was a couple of very rash moments. But you got to remember, this is his first Premier League game. I will remember, and people of my age will remember when Eric Torsvet had his first game in the first division for Spurs. He played Nottingham Forest, and someone had a shot. I can't remember who scored, and he caught it, and it slipped through his hands and went straight in, and we lost that game. But he went on to be an absolutely incredible keeper for us. We've got to give these keepers time. it was rash. He couldn't do anything with either goals, could he? One was a penalty, went the other way, and the other one, the deflection, was from Mickey van der Ven. So you can't fault him for the goals. I just think he needs to once he's got his settled defence as well, and everything is all calmed down, I think we'll see a lot better version of him. But his distribution did concern me a little.
So, what did you think of that penalty? By the way, do you think it was right for VAR to? Do you think it was right for VAR to get involved in that?
I'll put it this way, and I'll see what you guys think of it, and everyone in the chat. I think it was soft, but we all know if that was happening to Richarlison up front, and we don't get a penalty, we're all going to start raving mad.
I'm not disagreeing it was a penalty, but is that a penalty that VAR should be getting involved in for you?
For me, it was just too soft. It was just, for me, when I saw it, when I was watching it with Ryan, and he was going, that's a penalty, like before we'd seen the replay. I was like, oh, come on, do me a favour. Then when they started replaying it, you could see why it went to VAR, but I think it is too soft. What did you guys think?
I think it was a penalty. I think Son fouled him, but I think we've seen more blatant penalties like waved away from VAR before. So if we're going for like consistency, like clear and obvious and all that, I don't think VAR should have got involved with that. I think that was just it was too soft a penalty for VAR to go back to tell the referee to go back to the screen. In my opinion, I thought it was. I think
as well, it was a bit of an overreaction from the player as well, wasn't it?
Brian. I think again, it's the question is over VAR, right? So what should have happened is the moment that happened, it should have been stop, go and look at the screen, and it's the speed of the decision because they let play carry on, like they did against Manchester City when we got that. They had that penalty. It went on for like 2.5 minutes. It wasn't as long, but it's the efficiency, I guess, of VAR and the process, which is again coming into question, right? And they're two for me. Look, for me, I think it's a stonewall penalty. When you slow it down and everything else, but he's literally kicked his ankles. Yes, the reaction didn't help, but look, all players are doing that these days. They're doing that reaction to make it look worse than it maybe it would have been. I think maybe if that was someone else, they may have tried and stay on their feet, right? But the moment people are getting clips at the moment, they're throwing their arms up in the air, they're rolling around, they're holding their face when they get kicked in the leg, and I think that's the real issue.
Yeah. You know what, Nick? You could be right. Like I said, if it had happened on the other side, it was happening to us, I'd probably be on here going stonewall penalties. You're probably right. But you talk about the timing for VAR. They took an eternity for Romero as well again, didn't they? That one was it took an eternity. They've got to work the speed out. But also talking to Romero, another thing that really, really impressed me with Postecoglou was getting him off immediately. Like you were reading, Simeon, before. I mean, it was very, very early in the game. You could see that as soon as he celebrated the goal, he didn't want to go off. Mm-hmm. But Postecoglou was like, I ain't taking no chances, come off. But it just goes to show the need for that other centre-back, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because like you said, Davinson Sanchez was a little bit... Don't get me wrong, Sanchez did some very good things. There was a couple of great blocks in there. Joe, it's when he's on the ball that's the problem. Which is a bit hard to when you're a footballer.
And it's a bit hard when we have 80% possession as well.
Yeah, that's another great point there, Simeon. But I mean, his getting... Like what we saw in the Barcelona game, out of all the other defenders we've got at the club currently, apart from the starters, he's probably the best one for Ange's ball because of his pace and his power on the high line. So his recovery, tackling, his pace to get back into the situation is probably the best out of what we have. But when he's on the ball, it's blind panic. But he did do some good things today.
Ange was asked about Eric Dyer's absence from the matchday squad. He said, Eric is part of the team. We left a few out. We had a few not on the bench today that are very good players. Eric is the same. He works hard in training, but I'll pick the squad for any given game. What do you think about Dyer's absence? Is there more to it, or do you not? Maybe he's just not ready physically. What do you think?
Well, first of all, I thought it was inspired when we heard that there's no water there, so he could run off and take a dump. He would have been in trouble. But listen, this is. We know as a fan base we need better defenders. We know where some of the weaknesses are in the team. and Ange Postecoglou has to make these decisions. And this time it was Eric Dyer he left out. So it could be Manchester United. It could be another one left out. But rather than taking up a space on the bench and putting someone on that could impact the game, it's like, this game ain't for you. Stay at home. And it's so refreshing to see. You look at it. We've had Conte, Mourinho, Nuno. Obviously, well, Nuno is not even worth talking about really because he weren't here long enough. And Poch wanted to get rid of him. So they were all heavily playing him or had him on the bench. And I think it's refreshing that we got a manager that's doing that. And you got to remember, last season under the current manager, we had so many defenders on the bench. So many. It was ridiculous. It's refreshing to see that now he'll put a few defenders on and he'll put more on the attacking side to change the game. So it was unlucky for Dyer that was in this game. Obviously, we don't know if there's any correlation with what he did with taking Tottenham off his social media or whatever. That's all speculation, but we'll wait and see. But do you really think Dyer wouldn't have impacted this game in any way, size, shape, or form? I don't think that would have made a difference. So stay at home, mate.
In terms of the last question I'll ask you, first game for Ange, with it being a 2-2 draw and the performance level, do you come away with that positive or concerned with what's going to happen with us this season, or do you think it's like a good point and take the positives?
Mate, I'm looking at it the other way. Take the positives. Listen, Brentford, we haven't done well at. I think we've gone there now. I think we've been there and had 3 draws.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. We haven't won. We haven't lost there. So Brentford is no easy place to go to. First game of the season. Having all the noise that's been around us for obvious reasons, a certain transfer that went through. This game and all the attention was on Ange, and obviously how we're going to cope without Kane. We've got away with a draw. We've had 81 possession in the second half, whatever it was. We played great football, created chances. It looks like there's something to build on, and now we just we move forward to Manchester United, and hopefully we'll get a player through the door before United that can help the team. So I'm taking the positives.
All right, Brian, lovely to chat to you as always, my friend. Good to see you.
Always, guys. Great show. And as always, Levy out.
Nice one, Brian.
Nice one, Brian.
Always good to see Brian Daigle, and good to see him being a bit positive about the situation as well, which is great to see. Let's bring...
I'm curious to hear the next caller's opinions, because he wasn't overwrought by last weekend's performance or the Barcelona performance.
Or maybe he thought better of this performance, but let's bring him on. We've got George.
Big up, George.
George, good to see you, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you guys?
Just stand up a sec. What shirt are you wearing? Let me see this retro shirt. Is that the 91 Cup Final shirt?
Yeah. Well,
and with the Gazza on the back. Oh, look at that. Absolutely beautiful.
Doing a twirl. He's doing a twirl for us.
Well, George, if your career doesn't work out, you can always go into modelling, I think.
I'll bear that one in mind, Simeon.
hand modelling. Do you mean?
Spurs, you'll be a Spurs employee to model their shirts. But look, George, today's performance, 2-2 draw on the opening day of the season. Is that a performance that you take the positives away from, or was it one that you were kind of concerned with? Maybe the lack of chances we created. How did you assess it?
I was having anxiety attacks throughout the entire morning before that game. I was really, really impressed with the way that the team turned up and played today. It was all over the pitch. I mean, I know there were a few little mistakes here and there, but I was fearful today with everything that had gone on and the impact it was going to have on the squad. And then we had the shenanigans yesterday with Eric Dyer having taken his coming off and withdrawing from all the THFC stuff. So it was a really good performance today. I mean, I thought we should have really won it on the balance of the opportunities that we had. But it was I would have settled for that at the start of the day. So I thought we played well. I think we were composed. Van de Ven, really impressed with him. We had the early the early coming off of Kuti as well, which I was a bit worried about. get disruption to your defence at that point in time, and it doesn't bode well. Listen, things can only improve now. From what I can see, Ange really has asserted himself since he's sort of arrived, and what I saw today was that the players on the pitch have certainly bought into his philosophy. So hopefully now we can sort of go onwards and upwards.
George, our defence, is that worrying you? The way that we're just being exposed with balls down each side or cross-field balls?
I thought for them, Rico Henry was unbelievable today. I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with him. I think that there is fine-tuning involved here, as well as the requirement to buy another centre-back. Because we saw today, Cuti's off, Sanchez comes in, although I thought Sanchez had quite a good game. I don't sort of quite agree with some of those criticisms. He was sort of brought on very, sort of up in the air at that point in time. I thought we were really attacked as well. It was, they're not an easy side to defend against, Brentford. So having got the early goal, it was a bit misfortune to give away the penalty at that point.
Yeah.
Do I have concerns? I will always have concerns in playing the way Ange plays with the defence that we previously had. Udogie looks like the real McCoy to me. We've obviously got to see a bit more of Van de Ven, but again, very assured performance for his first appearance. I've always sort of had I've always thought well of Emerson. I've never sort of really been too critical about him. I think he's always had he's always been maligned a little bit too easily, been seen as the scapegoat. And Cuti's going to be Cuti. He got the goal for us, and just a shame he got injured early. So
yeah.
There's a few sticking points. I thought Richarlison, he should have been trying to find space earlier. There was a lack of energy I found with him in the first half. I thought there were points where he could have been looking for space, looking and communicating his presence, for crosses or the through balls. So I thought that could have worked much better. I thought that dropping back by Skip could have been sort of, that we needed an extra one or two bodies in the box when we gave away the second goal. So really, we should have had somebody dropping back there at that point in time. But listen, overall, first performance, we've lost our talisman this week, which has been a bit of a disaster. We've had shenanigans yesterday with Eric Dyer and installing a new captain. So look, I think we can only really say that was a positive display from Spurs today.
What did you think of the decision for VAR to go back and give a penalty for the equaliser for Brentford?
I thought it was a penalty. I mean, looking at it, it's always a bit different looking at it in slow motion. I thought at the time, in real time, I thought there was contact there. I just think it's one of those that you can't really have too much of a complaint if that's given. Whether VAR should have gone back to it or not, listen, was the correct decision made? I'll go back to what Brian was saying. I think if it had happened to us, was it Brian? Was it yourself, Barry, who was saying
that? Brian said if it had been us, we would have been in uproar.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been too happy if that hadn't been re-looked at. So you've got to look at it both ways. But yeah, I thought it was a penalty, and I think it was fair it was given.
In terms of Son being our new captain, kind of got taken off today on like 70 minutes after a bit of a poor performance. He's been kind of putting in similar performances over pre-season as well. What do you think about him over on this new kind of position where he's now more of a pure winger than maybe a forward compared to the last few years? Do you reckon that's a role he'll kind of grow into, or do you think maybe he's not suited to that role?
I think goals.
We're not. We're back. Sorry, I think we.
Hello.
Can you hear us?
Hello. Hello.
Can you hear us?
Am I still here?
Yeah, you're still here, George.
You are. Hello, George. I can hear you.
Yep. Can you hear me?
All right, cool. All good.
Okay. Yeah, listen, I think this has got more to do with Richarlison and trying to get him goals. So I think what was happening was that we needed Rishi really to score today to sort of get him up and running with, the whole situation with losing Harry. I don't think that Sonny will have any problem in that. I mean, I think that he needs to be on that wing and producing some sort of through ball or cutting balls into those areas for players to run onto. We don't have anybody else at the moment who can do that. I know that Perisic is there, but I don't think Perisic can sort of get back quickly enough as well in that sort of a position to cover in midfield. I think there's going to be a lot of tweaks, twists and turns with the positions of these players playing this brand new system. So at the moment, I'm happy for him to play there. He had his opportunities to score as well. He had that tame chance on the left hand side where he hit the ball and really should have put it away. So I think he did have his opportunities to score, but there are so many sort of moving dynamics and cogs in all of this at the moment.
All right, guys. Apologies about that. Our PC crashed, unfortunately, so we had to reboot it. But we are back live with you guys. Give you an update. The Chelsea game is in the second half against Liverpool. It's still 1-1 over there. Chilwell's goal was ruled out for offside near the end of that first half, so still level there. Unfortunately, George got cut off. I don't know if he's going to rejoin, but we do have some other people in the back end to bring on, so I guess we'll push ahead. If George wants to come back, I'm happy to finish the call with him.
Yeah.
But we've got Jask in the back end, so let's bring him on. Hello, mate. How you doing? Can you see us? Oh, you're on mute, mate. I think you're on mute.
It's done an asthmatic.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
perfect,
mate. Perfect.
Yes. All right, lads. How's it going?
Good. You?
That's pretty much how I feel now.
What did you make of the performance today?
It was okay for our first Premier League game away to Brentford. I think the first 20 minutes, obviously, we were taking a bit of time just building our way into the game. I think we might have showed a bit too much respect to Brentford. A bit more than we would have liked to Burnley or another team, so to speak, at a similar level. But overall, I thought we were okay. I thought there's definitely we definitely need some more time to gel, more time to build and to build that cohesion, especially with Van de Ven coming in on his first debut game and Vicario. But apart from that, I thought there's promising signs, but there's obviously, if anything, it's more of a bonus that this game didn't result in a win, because that obviously shows there's more work to be done, especially ahead of Man United.
Yeah, definitely. In terms of individuals, who impressed you the most today?
Oh, it's got to be Basuma. I thought Emerson was okay. No big major messes, cheeky little nutmeg, that sort of thing. Obviously, Destiny, he was class. I thought Son was quiet. I know you didn't ask me who I didn't like, but I thought Son was quiet for a captain. I wanted to see a bit more of him. Obviously, if he's going to be stepping up, just want to see him possibly point more and instruct more, but I didn't see so much of that. But yeah, I'd definitely say Basuma, Emerson, Romero, obviously, and yeah, Destiny.
Yeah, I agree. I think they had some really strong performances. But yeah, talking about Son, why do you think he struggled today?
I don't know, but it's with Kane in the team, Son always had that source. If he was ever out wide with the ball, he would just have to look in the centre, just try and see Kane. Now Kane's gone, obviously I feel like Son's having to adapt his game. But I've never really heard Son be much of a shouter. Obviously he's had a tussle up with Hugo in the past, but he's not necessarily that sort of screaming from the other end of the pitch at a certain player. That's what I kind of want to see more of. So perhaps it's just, another part of his game that he has to develop, a bit more leadership. Obviously I know he captains the South Korean team, but it's different kettle of fish when you're coming to the Premier League and you're talking to players with ability just as capable as your own. Whereas in South Korea, I feel like,
Yeah, Jask. I've got terrible feedback. I don't know.
Yeah, we can kind of hear our voices, feedback on the stream. I don't know if you've got another tab open or something.
No, I don't. Everything's looking fine on my end, but.
Okay. It's fine. It's fine. In terms of in a week where Richarlison, we lost Harry Kane. We wanted kind of a good performance from Richarlison to kind of convince us maybe he could be our striker this season. Didn't obviously get on the score sheet today, but were you disappointed with him, or did you think maybe you saw some good signs?
Yeah, well, I thought this would be the game. I thought this would be the game for Richarlison to say, maybe you don't have to go and spend 60, 70 mil on a new striker. I am one. But then it's just his demeanour as well. I feel like his touch was letting him down a lot of the time. His spatial awareness, a lot of times I felt like he was in too close a proximity to Son. Essentially just too many bodies gathered in one spot. I liked how a couple of times he came back to collect the ball, but there were just some things that he were doing that, just left you wanting.
How long do you think Ange keeps this up with Sonny on the left, knowing that he's going to be more like a pure left winger than he has been the attacker in the past? Because I was at the Shakhtar game, and Ange was shouting and getting frustrated at Sonny for not going down the left and kind of cutting in, right? So obviously he's going to carry on with this, but how long are we going to continue with this before we make that change and put Sonny up top and maybe bring a Solomon or a Perisic on that left-hand side?
I suppose it's down to Daniel Levy, isn't it? He's the one who forked out the money for Richarlison. So I feel like if Levy ends up saying to Ange, do you mind playing him a couple of more times? Let's see if this guy can do anything. I have no idea. I have no idea how much influence he has on the team at present, but with Levy, he always says, I'll take a step back, but I feel like he's always in the shadows, the puppet master. For Ange, I'd say just give him a couple more games. If it's not working out, drop him. Obviously, there's no real pressure on Ange this season. Essentially, the only goal is to perform better than we did last season. But yeah, I feel like Levy's not the sort of person not to set goals, objectives, So it depends how badly Ange wants to pick up the points, really. But yeah, I'm happy to sort of give him a couple of games to try out a couple of positions, couple of roles, couple of personnel, and see what they can all do collectively. Perhaps it might be a detriment to Richarlison with Son playing where he's playing, or it's all about experimenting, trying different tactics and whatnot. I think he has his base tactic, but in terms of like those critical 11, the ones he can certainly rely on, you obviously need a bit more time.
In terms of the three debutants in the back, Vicario, Van de Ven and Udogie, how do you think they got on today?
Yeah, like Destiny, I'm pretty comfortable with everything he was doing. No glaring issues. Van de Ven, obviously, maybe a bit of communication problems. Maybe he doesn't exactly know when to step up, or obviously he will as a defender, but within our team, within our system. And then obviously he's been training with Romero possibly throughout the week and build up to this game. He's gone off in the first 4 or 5 minutes, and then he's looking to the right of him, thinking, who the hell's this guy? But Sanchez did himself all right. No glaring errors there. A couple of good slide tackles, so I'm happy to see that. And Vicario, just unfortunate, isn't it? The penalty, it was a penalty, even though it was soft. Technically, it's a penalty, so I don't feel too hard done by there. But the second goal was just, a bit of a messy end to it, and that's that. But I think we'll have a better idea against Man United when he's facing more, top corner shots and having to get down low and possibly rush out a bit more quicker for one-on-one sort of thing.
All right, Jask, great to have you on, mate. Cheers for calling in, and we'll see you soon, mate.
No worries. Cheers, boys.
Thanks,
Take care.
mate.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on. All right, that was Jask in the back end there calling in. Let's get on.
No.
Here we go.
Oh, no.
Here comes trouble.
It's the blocker.
It's here. It's me. It's
KPV. And he's live.
Hello, Kyle.
Yes, boys.
How are you doing today? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. I watched the game, but I'm going to disagree with people. It was never a penalty. That's not right for you to get involved.
Mic dropping as soon as he enters.
Never a penalty, blood. Never a pen, man. 3 years in a row, Brentford are now unbeaten at home. I think, they're unbeaten at home, man. 3 years in a row. We've not won there. At least we haven't lost there. At least 3 seasons in a row we haven't lost. We've drawn there 3 times. 0-0.
Carl, do you think we played well today?
Of course, man. Why are you asking? We played well, and people, stop saying some bad stuff about my man Kulu. And he's didn't do well, but I thought he had a good game. But he just needs to maybe work on his shooting a bit. He did only score 1 goal last season, but he hasn't scored this one. But he will against United. Watch. Oh, wait, what's that in the background? I can hear myself.
Can you?
We can.
Yeah.
You've got an echo.
Fine our end, Carl. But who was your man of the match?
There's only one question, mate. Mo go.
KPV, he wasn't the man of the match, mate. Even
He
I
was,
can sit
mate.
there and say that. No, mate, Basuma or Maddison, mate. Basuma for me, but
KPV said
Mad.
man of the match. He was man of the match.
yeah, and that's the bottom line because KPV said so.
All right, I'll go for Maddison then. But yeah, Mads. I'll go Mads, as Ben called him on Twitter. Mads, up the Mads, and Ben met him. Lucky bastard.
Yeah,
Ben met him. Yeah, I see.
Unbelievable.
And great goal for Romero. That's, I think, second goal for Tottenham in 3 seasons. He didn't score last season. He scored against Brighton this season. We got top 4 under Conte, and that was away, 1-0. So, so 2 goals. His goals have come from away, but he hasn't scored a home goal yet. But hopefully it's not a serious injury, because him and Bremo have clashed heads. It's basically Ryan Mason, Gary Cahill over again.
I wouldn't go that far, Carl. I don't think it was that bad. But
Well, hopefully it's not. Oh,
what do you think
go
of
on.
Emerson's goal? What do you think of Emerson's goal? Tell me about it.
Goal of the season, man. I don't care what any jabronis say. Anyone in the chat, I don't care what you all say. Goal of the season. Deal with it, all right? Watch next Saturday. I know Sim's going to the game, and I know Barry is. So it looks like Ben's going to be in the studio with Mr. Daigle. I
Is that
bet.
right? Is that right? Do you
Well,
know our schedule,
KPV,
Carl?
you're actually very wrong on that, mate.
You're
Unfortunately.
very wrong.
What?
He
What
loves,
is it?
He loves spoilers, Kyle. But
Yeah,
you
Carl loves
can't get it
spoilers.
right
We're
all
not.
the
We're
time.
not going to give any spoilers, but it's definitely not those.
Ben is going to
people in
be
there.
out the game, so you got that absolutely
Oh.
wrong, Carl.
Yeah.
I don't care, man. Like, and you didn't ask what shirt I'm wearing. You haven't asked what shirt I'm wearing. Like, Tottenham shirt.
I can see it, KPV. I think
let's
you
see
heard
the
me.
shirt.
You saw me getting the same shirt, and you've gone and bought the same shirt as me, KPV.
Yeah, it's the 16-17, but I haven't got no name on the back because I was gonna get, but I'm hoping to, but I might put Toby on it, Alderweireld. So yeah, so I'm gonna put him on. And great point, I'll take. Great, yeah. Two defenders have scored again, basically, like it was Newcastle in the 21-22. Emerson, now 3 goals for Tottenham. 2 away, 1 at home. That was when we won 5-1 at home to Newcastle under Conte. So 2 away goals, 1 at home. So yeah, I'll take a point. Bring on Saturday, and hopefully first time win. I'd be happy. But I'll see you at one of the games this season, Sim, and yeah, I'll hopefully show you a song that you might have watched before. Harry Kane singing St. Tottenham's Day cancelled in April 2017, and Ericsson and Vertonghen playing some of the instruments. So this year there will be no St. Tottenham's Day. Yeah, Kane's gone, but the goals are coming in the big games. So Saturday, bring on United, and hopefully we'll get a few more players in. We need to get another attacker. Can't just be Richarlison and Son. Like, yeah, I think put Perisic on the left wing because he does play there for Croatia. So maybe I'd start him and Poro and I don't know, Son still, but
So
Kulu
start Poro over your boy Kulu, yeah?
Well, yeah, obviously I've got last season's home kit, but the Champions League badge, Kulusevski on. Like, he will score. Maybe he'll come off the bench. Like, you saw what he done at home against Liverpool last season. He assisted Kane. I think Kula came off the bench and assisted Kane at home to Liverpool. So, yeah, he'll, like, I know we drew at home to United last season, a couple of months ago, but at home, when we've not beaten them at home since 2018, that was Wembley, but N17, like, when we're due a home win in N17, man, because they've beaten us twice in the stadium, man. They both scored, that's been 3 goals, but not Saturday, boys. Like, Bruno Fernandes, and man, you better look out for Van der Ven, and hopefully Romero will start, because hopefully it's not a serious injury. Like, he's going to be better than Van Dijk, as David said. So, he's going to be. And I'm out, people, because I'm going out for dinner now, so I'll see you.
You're going back to blocking people on YouTube, KPV. We know that, mate. We know that.
Shut up, Barry. I've not blocked people, and you didn't read my little chat earlier. Like, the reason why you couldn't see me a couple of days ago is probably because my phone's changed the settings, mate. But I don't know. You need to go back.
You've even blocked yourself, KPV.
No, I haven't. I don't block myself. Like, this is why Sim and Ben need to go back to StreamYard, and you can see me better, because every time I come on here, the connection plays up. StreamYard's more better, so go back to StreamYard, Sim. Not this bad.
We'll take it under consideration.
And this is an ad by KPV.
So, everyone.
Sponsored
All right,
by
everyone.
StreamYard,
Yeah.
Carl.
I'm out, people.
Carl's dinner is sponsored by StreamYard this evening.
Nice one, Carl.
Layers, boys, and as always, Levy out.
See you later. No Daigle in, just Levy out. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Daigle in.
No Daigle in. He's just Levy out.
Lost his
He's lost his spot. He's lost his spot.
Is that it then? Is anyone else in there? All right, I think that's it, guys. That's it for the post-match fan show today. We'll be back tomorrow for loads more post-match content, player ratings. We'll do a review. My brother Ben's going to be in the studio. We'll give you a breakdown of the game. Looking forward to that. But that is all we have for today. Ange's press conference is currently live, so go check that out if you want to see what Ange had to say after the game. Big up, everyone. Barry. Thank you so much for joining me
Not a
today on all the
problem.
live streams. Always been great to have you in the studio as ever. But big up everyone in the chat for all your interactions today. We'll see you all very, very soon. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always,
Come on, you Spurs.